So, King of Elfland had finished, big cast, and I got together a smaller group from that group to put on a play. What were we going to do? I had absolutely no idea. I guess what I was going to do was to have a meeting with them and say, what do you want to write a play about? And then from that we'd come up with an idea. Good old Dorothy Heathcote starter. But something happened. It must have been the week before the meeting was due to occur. And that something was in a drama lesson. There was a play in a drama lesson of a violent scene at home between a father and a mother and a daughter watching. And at the end of that drama lesson, the young girl, I think she would have been in year 10, so 4th year at the time. This is my 4th year at Epping, so we'd be looking at 1985 or 6. She stayed behind and said to me, Mark, that was me in that scene. And I said, oh gosh. And I expressed surprise, and she just got talking, and I can't remember how it came up, but I said, and she was one of the people who was planning to be involved in quite a major way in the next play. And I said, do you think your dad would be, because she explained to me he'd gone to AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, and I said, do you think your dad would be prepared to talk about it? Do you think your parents would be prepared to talk? And she said, yeah, I think they'd love it. So we phoned, he agreed. So the meeting changed its location, and we had the meeting, actually that isn't the meeting, but we had the meeting at their house with this group of people taken from the group from King of Elfland, and we chatted to her dad and mum, and they were very open with us. I recorded it, so we had that as an opening idea. He put us in contact with other people. There was I can remember we spoke to a pop star who was in his Alcoholics Anonymous group. There was a guy from London Bridge who was a proper a real traditional old style alcoholic who had found himself homeless, and he came and spoke. Fascinating stuff. And they gave us accounts, and they all gave us permission to use it in the play. So we ended up doing a play that was going to be part verbatim, part documentary, using things from health education about alcohol misuse. And the group of us set to and got writing, and all was going well. By the time, so we started in September, we'd done all the interviews and everything by Christmas, and we were ready to go in January. And then there was a drink drive campaign over the Christmas holidays, which used the voices of victim families. And I thought to myself, wow, we're doing this project about alcohol misuse, and we're not looking at drinking and driving. And it was the first time I'd even thought about it. So I contacted the local policeman, and he put me in contact with 3 different stories, one of which was the story of the lady who I've called in the plays JUDY. It ended up being Too Much Punch for Judy. And because I thought I can't put the young people through the whole process of interviewing and so on again, I did the interviews and interviewed Judy, Duncan, the nurse, and it was all local stories, so they all remembered it. And Judy had killed her own sister. And I sat at home at my mum and dad's writing up this final bit, and that's me. Can you see my face? Yes, there you can see my face. Writing this end piece. So there was like a last 20 minutes to the play we were doing, which I think we decided was going to be called either Pour Me Another One, or Quenchers. And after Christmas we went into rehearsal, very collaborative. Sometimes I directed in terms of having some ideas, but very often it was the group working on their own, coming up with ideas, me kind of watching at the end and saying, yeah, that's great, or no, that isn't. Also during that time, so this is from January to, I think we were due to perform in about November, in July, we did lots of fundraising. We did jumble sales, 2 of them. We did a performance of Tommy and the Land of Dinnersphere in junior schools and charged the schools, and they gave us some money to help us get to Edinburgh. We did a sponsored swim. By this point, we decided it was going to be called Quenchers. We were starting to get quite a reputation. This is Ray Cooney, who agreed to become our patron. So a patron from the world of comedy for our very serious work. We were also getting work, we were getting interest from radio. So we were on radio, I think that was Radio 2, some coverage from there. And just before we came to perform, we had two big problems. First was, one of the little extracts that we were doing was a story by James Thurber called The Bear Who Wouldn't Let It Alone. And suddenly I received a response from the agent saying we didn't have the rights to perform his story. So we suddenly had to come up with something brand new. And this is where the third little play came out. And we developed a play called Happy Soap. It later went on to become Wacky Soap. Story of a king who develops a soap where if you wash too much with it, you disappear. It was a lovely little light-hearted, allegorical thing. It lasted about 5 minutes. And these were some drawings done by Ryan Gilby. One of the things I've said about the work I've done with young people is in a school you're able to surround yourselves with the most talented young people who produce the most incredible work that certainly I couldn't have done. And art was one of the things, not only the drama, but the artwork was something they gave to me. The week of the production, the main person pulled out. The person playing Judy in the Too Much Punch for Judy little bit. We had to find a replacement. I chose to go for someone who had been a chorus part in King of Elfland and was doing really well in drama lessons. Faye Davis. That was Faye probably on the day I cast her. And she went home and learnt the lines, came in, we did extra rehearsals. She put on a most amazing performance. We also, by that time, had got TV coverage. So this was, I think, Thames TV or Breakfast TV doing some performances. And we were off to Edinburgh with all the money we'd raised. That was the little group who went off to Edinburgh and talked about the art. What amazing artwork. This is John Rowley's drawing that he created for Quenchers. We called him Bottle Man. So off we went to the Fringe. Wow, another very exciting thing. Drove in my little Renault 4 off to the Fringe. Artwork. Paul and John sat on the pavement and did the most incredible drawings, and we did it. We performed in the street. We went there for 2 weeks and performed, and the play went down well. But the one thing that came out, certainly from the Scotsman review, was how good that little 20 minutes at the end was. Most successful, often movingly so, are the scenes which use actual incidents and the words actually used to describe them. They need no embellishment, and wisely they receive none, and they're all the more effective for it. Some of Epping Youth Theatre are surprisingly young, and amongst the youngest is Faye Davis, who turns in a most poignant performance in the final scene. And it's a formidable attack on drink driving. And that, increasingly I was feeling that's the scene that really needs development. And I came back thinking, yeah, I shall continue working on it. I don't think I spoke to many of them about it, and this is, we got great things, you know. Schools Play is a winner. Quenchers, I can't even read it. Quenchers, a smash hit. We felt we got the smash hit, but I felt the smash hit was yet to come. And I went over the summer holidays to interview Judy a little bit more and just do a bit more research and make it into a full-length, well, 40-45 minute long play. And that would become Too Much Punch for Judy. And I also felt there's that other little thing, Happy Soap. What a great idea it is. I think I'll develop that somehow, and maybe they'll work together, have first half being Happy Soap, nice and light, second half being Too Much Punch for Judy. So next year was all sorted, and that ended up being my final year at Epping, and I'll talk to you about Too Much Punch for Judy, those early performances of the first full-length play. I'll talk about that tomorrow. Thanks.